So this project, we're going to be making a platform for a couple of compressors that are going to drive the automatic tool changer, or the ATC, on the shop bot. And plus, I want to do some special features to the platform in the sense of making the compressors a little more vibration friendly because of how I'm going to pipe the air supply. In terms of how the piping is going to run, I want to minimize how much vibration the tools will actually be feeling. So what we're going to do is take a look at what I've got, and we will begin drawing the platform that we're going to make to rest these two compressors on. Let's move on. Perfect at the bottom. We'll see how flat that is in the bottom. It's not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. Project will go a little shallow. I like the size of the letters because, you know, your position of view is going to be 4.5 feet away, 5 feet away. It's going to be quite undetectable that we cut that with an 8-inch end mill first as the clearing pardon me, as the final pass, so to speak. I like how it's flying in. Oak and shield sword, landering the scandals. Lighter and feeder, if you're a fan of Lord of the Rings. So, we're going to do the other side. I'll do some periodic video of it happening while it's happening. And let's bring this project to an end.
If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it.
And now the only thing we hear is the rain outside. And it's happening. This GoPro can take a little rain. It went rim to rim with my son and I on the Grand Canyon hike, literally north rim to south rim, and without staying overnight. So let's remove the clamps. We're going to take a closer look at what we got here. I don't plan on painting this. I don't plan on sealing it. I just don't. This has taken many, many hours to cut. Obviously, cutting the test with an 1/8 inch end mill, realizing we had to do it again, realizing we did one and then had to start it from scratch. So let's blow some of the fibers out of here. There we are. Orchrist. And gland ring. And that's how they're going to sit, right on top of here. We're going to get those placed on here possibly tomorrow. The bottom line is I'm waiting for some clipped washers to come in because the prep in the bottom, I'm not confident I'm going to be able to get the the lag bolt without the clipped washer. And then tomorrow we will pick this up when it is time to attach all the hardware. That's the next thing we're going to do. There you go. Thank you.
If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it.
So now it's time for us to literally add the hardware to our project. And the only thing I've done is drilled the holes for the lag bolts for the casters. And I've not assembled any of this material just yet. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to drill through the top for the hex cap bolts to hold the compressors onto the platform. I want to do the drilling first before I attach the casters. So I've got a chip clearing drill bit here that I like because it really evacuates, that really wide spiral really evacuates the chips extremely well. So I like using that. So let's do that. Excellent. Got 8 holes here to drill, so let's just drill them. Now, if I were to go, like I mentioned, if I were to go into production on this, I would have sought a way to drill those holes through, Probably could have done it from the bottom side, the pocketing tool path, but this is quite likely going to be a one and done project. So, applying the casters, I believe, would be the next thing to do. So let's do that. I don't believe there's anything handed about these or not symmetrical. Does not appear to be. Yeah, okay. So we've got some lag bolts here. Then our clipped washers, I don't know if they were actually going to be necessary, but I'll show you that right here now. It wasn't obvious to me if I was going to need a clipped washer here or not. So no harm in using them. 10 in a bag. Perfect, 16 of each. Excellent. Okay, so now we're going to attach all the casters. Socket wrench. Looking good. Yeah, turns out clipped washers were going to be necessary. Okay, glad we elected to do that. Okay, let's put 4 in and see how this goes. I did that old trick where you put a piece of tape on the drill bit to know exactly how deep you are drilling into the material. I didn't want to breach through, obviously. The pre-drill size seems good. 0.177 perhaps. I forget exactly what I asked it to be. Probably would have gone a little bit smaller. Yeah, well, the clipped washer turns out not to be required. Absolutely. Yeah, it's a good size actually. It actually is. It gets good and tight at the bottom. A small amount of fear of over tightening, but again, it's wood, so it wouldn't be hard to actually do that. I went with, I believe, 1.5 inches. I wanted to go in as deep as I could because much of this that the bolts are going through is indeed MDF. But I wanted to get through the MDF into the plywood that is the top side of the platform. Yeah, good. All right, clipped washers weren't really required, but it's a better look. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to attach the rest of the casters and we'll pick it up at that point.
If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video.
Okay, we have all 4 casters attached. Let's put this down on the floor, but before we do, if you recall, kind of what I really wanted to do was tuck that down as close as possible. And we've got just the minimum amount permissible there, so that works just really great. I'm happy. We brought those wheels down
so that it's as stealthy as possible. Let's put it on the floor. And after we get it on the floor, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to, you know what we're going to do? We're going to put compressors on it, is what we're going to do. I don't know what these wheels are rated for, but this thing is going to hold several hundred pounds to be sure. Yeah, real happy with this. I believe tough was the word that I used. I wanted it to look tough. I believe that it does. Okay, the wheels, yeah, you don't even see them from if you're in it. It moves really smooth. Those wheels are just hanging down. Probably would have spread them out a little bit more, but the truth of the matter is I wanted them over or under the load. And you can see that we achieved that. Wanted it under the load because those compressors are actually heavier than you might think. Okay. Now let's get these compressors put on here. And they ought to fit. We'll roll this one over. Yeah, don't have to move that one. Now, we have to be really mindful. I don't think that this is going to tip at all, but it may.
Nice.
Because all the weight's going to be on one side. It shouldn't, but it may. So when we place it on top, we want to be sure that it doesn't literally come forward because all the weight's going to be right. And after that, it'll be a matter of just bolting it. Oh, wait a minute. To put the vibration washers in, that was the whole point of doing all the extra work. Here, buddy, go on that side. Let's put those down in here. Yeah. Much better. Put those washers in there, please. Okay, so we'll place it in here and let's just make sure it doesn't tip. You can put your strap down in first and just don't lift by the motor, just to help stabilize. Oh yeah. Doesn't have a tendency to tip. Go ahead and lift up on the Orcris side. Just lift on it and see if it'll go. Yeah, it's tempted, right? All right, I don't believe it's going to fall, but if it does, it'll be no good. Would you roll that part out of the way? No, it's not going to fall. Just be ready to jump on that. Let's roll it a little bit closer for me. Let's bring more Chris up. Okay, good. Now it's on here. Put your end in first. Yeah?
That's good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's good. I'll have to determine why the straps are, yeah, gone a little deep, but I'm not going to take that as a personal affront. You've got the goblin cleaver and the fall hammer. Now that is nice. Oh yeah. No chance that that's going to roll. Yeah. Not awful. All right, the next step is going to be bolting them down. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. So one design flaw that I hadn't accounted for was we can sure get the bolt. And you know, another thing of pocketing those casters down is it stands off the floor a good 6 inches, and all the weight's at the top. And there's no chance of this tipping over, but having that center of gravity as low to the ground as possible. So, yeah, I can get the bolt in here. The issue is I can't over here. So what we're going to do is I'll put 2 from the underside, which I already started one on this side, and then 1 from over here, and it'll work out just fine. So I'm going to get all these bolts in, and we'll pick it up after I've got it all bolted. Tightening the last bolt, and then we'll review what we've got so far. So what you're seeing right here at the corner, I meant to point, well, this happened yesterday. I moved the gantry from the center of the workpiece when we finished whatever part we were working on, and the 1/8" end mill dragged across this because the surface of my platform is not level. And if I ever did this again, if you recall, I leveled the bottom of it. Next time I'm going to level the top of it. I'm literally going to level the top of it just so that it's perfectly flat, and it's not. That's okay. So my straps are not flush. That's a mistake. We would get that worked out the second time. I'll have to check my math and my logic. They're for sure 3/16. So I was adding when I should have been subtracting, apparently. Bolts are in. They're all around. I don't believe there's any chance, and it's heavy. Any of the handles work just fine. It rolls really well. I don't think there's any safety hazard at all. I can pick up the outside corner slightly, or a half of it, and it's going to move into position really nicely. Really, really nicely. Okay, so the next thing to start doing now is to pipe the first thing is to put all of our tools away. Next thing is to start piping the front of this, because tomorrow Chris Burns comes to get the ATC installed. Spindles in this box hasn't come out. Spindles in this box hasn't come out yet. Our new collets. And that's what this platform is for that I've been working on for 2 weeks. Getting the CFM required to the ATC and to the cooling system. According to the specs, one of these was enough. These are very small tanks, 20 gallon, but I just don't think so. I don't think running both of those simultaneously is going to work. Now, getting this ready for tomorrow morning is going to be only part of the job I'm ultimately going to do, and we will go over what ultimately that's going to be. And part of it's going to be running pipe up to the ceiling, because keeping the air out of the system starts with a vertical run, and I believe that'll really help. But for Friday and Saturday, when we're going to be installing the ATC, it's going to be a matter of just getting CFM to where it has to go.
Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.